Hello, everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel for my review on the newest space film to come out in cinemas. Being one of Brad Pitt's best roles and posing some of the most interesting yet simplistic space questions to its plot, this is Kia's Reviews, and this is my review of Ad Astra.
All life could be destroyed.
Major, we would like you to send a personal message on Mars by secure laser to what we hope is the Lima Project. What is happening out there is a crisis of unknown magnitude. Now we're counting on you to help us find him. Are you with us?
Yes, I am, sir.
Ad Astra poses some great questions to its audience, the main one being, are we alone in the galaxy? This film really plays off of that question, guaranteeing an interesting film to come. Definitely flawed throughout, this film had a lot to be admired, such as the cinematography, the acting, the tone, and the whole feel to the film. Constantly told from Pitt's progressive voiceover monologue, Ad Astra's biggest credit is the captivation of its cast, including Pitt himself, Tommy Lee Jones, Donald Sutherland, and an overlong cameo from Liv Tyler. These characters were great, but not because of the substance from which they had been produced, but from the performances of its portrayers. As much as the film does solely rest on the shoulders and looks at the views of Brad Pitt, it does feel like it's Pitt's film. And it is, but without the rest of the supporting cast being within the story, it could have been a lot more flat than what it ended up being.
We're approaching.
They're gonna come for you, you know.
I know. I don't care anymore. I need to get back now. Do what I can. Good luck.
The necessity of some of the plot's developments was surely questionable, but to avoid venturing into spoilers, I'll give a brief overview of what I mean. The film's runtime is 122 minutes, which in these times when films are more commonly moving towards 3 hours, the runtime may feel normal. However, the pacing of this movie did not work, making the 2 hours feel like 3 or 4. Unfortunately, these plot developments fed into the very slow pacing of the film, making a whole half hour unnecessary and the audience longing for it to be edited down a lot. However, as much as this may seem like a negative thing, the film wasn't awful at all. There was so much I loved that happened during this runtime that was actually really incredibly interesting.
Control, we got a lot of people up there, over.
Control, I think we have a fight.
Stand by, we're working the stand by.
Control, they're happening everywhere.
Let's start off with one of the main reasons to why I enjoyed this movie, the cinematography. Most space movies are mind-blowing with their visuals, including First Man, Gravity, and Interstellar, which is just to name a few, but Ad Astra was incredibly moving with how the camera shots panned and looked. The visuals moved so smoothly where it got to the point where every shot moved incredibly slowly, giving time to simply enjoy the essence of what was on screen without having to wonder about what might happen or what has happened. In turn, when the plot reached its peak in its final act, these shots became unnecessary and ultimately repetitive. However, these visuals held up the film, keeping it away from what it could have been.
Alpha, we need backup ASAP. We're being ambushed.
LRV-2 down.
Rory.
I have a puncture.
The tone was accompanied by another stellar performance this year by Brad Pitt, accompanying the recent release of Tarantino's film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. In comparison to other space film performances with the likes of Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar, Ryan Gosling in First Man, and Tom Hanks in Apollo 13, Brad Pitt measured up with Ad Astra. As much as the slow pace didn't benefit the lack of interest and lack of emotional connections to his character or the supporting characters, Brad Pitt was arguably the most interesting part of Ad Astra, providing audiences with a sense of excitement most space films demand nowadays. And he did make this film exciting.
Taylor? Taylor?
Ad Astra adds to the line of cinematic space spectacles, even though its flawed pace and unnecessary entries into the film's plot did not work. Backed by an increasingly interesting performance from Brad Pitt and a space thriller feel to the whole film, this movie wasn't an ultimate disappointment, but was definitely worth the watch. Having some of the best space cinematography I've ever seen, Ad Astra is nothing short of being another interesting space film, so I'm giving Ad Astra an 8 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. Are you thinking of seeing Ad Astra these holidays? Let me know below. If you like what you're seeing here and you want to see even more, check out my channel and be sure to have a look at my previous reviews of It Chapter 2 and Booksmart. As always, be sure to follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well as checking out my newly made podcast, Kears Reviews, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. This has been Kears Reviews, signing off for now.